السلام عليكم. إن شاء الله اليوم راح نغطي الوحدة الثالثة. So, as you can see here, the title of the unit is A Funny Thing Happened. So this unit talks about funny stories. All right. If you look the at the page, it looks like a website, right? And this is the name of the website, funnystories.com. All right, so here we're going to read about 3 funny stories, and these stories are of different kinds. And there are 3 kinds of stories here. The first one is, cool. Let me just enlarge the page so that you can see. Okay, first one is coincidence or coincidences. Now, incidences, this word here means, incidences here means happening, things that happen, okay? Now, coincidences, it means things that happen by chance without any intention, okay? يعني بالعربي مصادفة. Stories that happen مصادفة. The second type is misunderstandings. Miss in English means not or negative not. Misunderstandings means stories that happen. I mean, there's a mistake in the story, or there's something said by mistake. يعني بالعربي سوء فهم. Okay. And the third type is unintended meanings. Unintended meanings, you say or do something, but you actually mean something totally different, something else. So unintended meaning بالعربي يعني حسن نية. So the 3 types are coincidences يعني مصادفة، أو misunderstandings يعني سوء فهم، or unintended meanings means حسن نية. So I'm going to read out these stories, and I would like you to, while I am reading the stories, I would like you to think about what each story represents. So what, for example, story number A, what does it represent? Is it an example of a coincidences or a misunderstandings, يعني سوء فهم, or unintended meanings, يعني حسن نية. Okay. If you look at the picture here, I'll just enlarge it one more time. If you look at the picture here, you can see a lady and a little girl and a man. They're standing at his door and they're giving him something. And look at the mom. How does she look? Like she looks confused, right? Or embarrassed or something. Okay, so let's read the story. And as I said, think about what type of story this is. One day I noticed that some bananas, which I had bought about a week before, were going brown. Yani old bananas. Let's make some banana cakes, I said to my 6-year-old daughter, Fatima. It took quite a long time, but it kept Fatima busy and we had fun making them. When they were done, we tried one and it was actually delicious. So I suggested taking one to Mr. Aziz, the old man who lives next door. When Mr. Aziz opened the door, before I could say a word, Fatima told him, we had some old bananas that were going bad. So instead of throwing them away, we made them into a cake for you. I hope you like it. Okay. What do you think the type of this story is? Think. Do you think that happened by chance? Or what the girl said to the man, I mean, happened by chance, coincidence? Or is it a misunderstanding? Or is it unintentional meaning؟ يعني سوء، هون سوء فهم. Misunderstanding is سوء فهم, and unintended meanings means حسن نية. What do you think? Yeah, I agree with you. I think number A is unintended meanings. Yani the main idea is that the bananas, yes, they made the banana cake because the bananas were brown and no one wants to eat them. They're not fresh anymore. But if the banana cake wasn't delicious, they wouldn't have given it to the neighbor, right? You don't give bad food to the neighbor. You give them the good food. So the girl said, she said the truth, but actually the real intention was to give him the delicious banana, not to give him the banana that was, that was bad. All right, now let's read the second story. Look at the picture here. We've got two ladies sitting in the train. Yes, they are on the train. And do you know, do you think that they know each other? Look here at the question marks. Hmm. Okay, let's see what's going on. A couple of years ago, I was talking to an old school friend that I had kept in touch with when she mentioned another person called Jan. So these are the story is about two friends, two school friends. They are old friends. Okay, so and they were talking about another person called Jan. She wasn't a friend of them, all right? So let's continue reading. Jan, who had been in the same class as us, neither of us had heard from her or even thought about her for over 10 years. So they don't know her basically. They did not keep in touch with her all those years. Okay, what happened then? I did not give the conversation another thought, which means she did not think about it really seriously, until 3 days later, when I was working in London for 2 days. As I was traveling to the office, I saw a woman on the train. Our eyes met, and we seemed to recognize, yani to know each other. Excuse me, she said, but are you Susan? Oh, it was, of course, Jan. Whew. As it turned out, she was only visiting London for a few days and was about to return to Italy, where she had lived for over 5 years. Now, what kind of story is this? Let's go up, just in case you don't have the book. Is it coincidences, or is it misunderstandings, or is it unintended meanings? Happened by chance, right? So it's actually coincidences. Okay, it's a coincidence because they were just talking about this old classmate. Okay, which means that girl in the class, and she went with them to the same class in the past, and they never thought about her before. And then out of a sudden, 3 days later, she met her on the train. So this is all by chance, coincidence. All right, the third story. If you look here, you've got a young man here who looks a bit embarrassed, or there's sweat here around, and another guy here who looks a bit, what do you think? How does he look like? Angry, maybe? So what's going on? Why is this man angry? And okay, let's read. About 3 or 4 times a year, a company that I do some work for organized a day of meetings for those of us that work from home. They put us up in a hotel, and it's a good chance for colleagues who don't meet that often to catch up with each other. All right. The last time this happened, I arrived at the hotel quite late and went straight to bed. The next morning, I walked into the breakfast room and saw my old colleague Dan, a short man with a bald head. This man standing with his back to me, with his back, so he could not see his face, right? Okay. Good morning, Dan, I said, patting him on the head in a friendly way. Yani touching him on the head in a friendly way. Unfortunately, the man who turned to face me wasn't Dan at all, but a complete stranger. Okay. To make things worse, he was a rather formal man who did not see the funny side of the situation. I'm sorry to say that you may have made an error, he said. All right. So he thought that he was his old friend and he patted him on the head. I mean, he doesn't have hair, right? He's bald. And he patted him, he touched his head, which is really rude, right? But as a friend, he would, he wouldn't mind. And it turned out that he wasn't his friend. So he was angry. And he said, and he wasn't really, he did not laugh at that, that is what type now? If we go up, look at these words. What do you think? Yes, it's a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. Yeah. Because he thought that was his friend, but it turned out it wasn't his friend. It was a stranger, someone he doesn't know. So this is a misunderstanding. All right. Now let's move to the next page. Okay. Read the 3 stories. Oh, we did this already. So we said that coincidence is story B, and misunderstanding is story C, and unintended meaning is the banana story, story A. All right. Now, you've got some vocabulary. All these words are in the text. And here you can find the meanings of these words. So I'm going to read out the words, okay? And I would like you to think about the meanings. So let's read out words and phrases from stories. Number 1, kept in touch. Kept in touch. 2, mentioned. Mentioned. 3, patting. Patting. Do you remember when he said, I was patting him on the head? The 3rd story. Okay, 4, error. Error. 5, straight. 6, colleague. Colleague. 7, bald. A-L in English, you pronounce it as O-L, not A-L. So not bald, it's bald. Like wall, W-A-L-L, wall, not wall, wall. Okay, stranger. Now, these are the words, and let's look at the meanings here. Number A, without hair. Someone who is without hair, doesn't have hair on his head. Immediately, something that happened immediately, now. Said something about. Said something about. about something, of course. Stayed in contact. Stayed in contact. To contact. Okay. Stayed in contact, which means stayed. Which means stayed meeting his friends, seeing his friends. Okay. Someone you don't know. What did we call him in the story? Hitting gently. To hit gently. Okay. Mistake. And then the last one, someone you work with. I'm going to do the first one with you, okay, as an example. So, or maybe the first two. Kept in touch. Let's go back to the reading. Kept in touch. As you can see here in story B, a couple of years ago, I was talking to an old school friend that I had kept in touch with. What do you think kept in touch mean? يعني أنا لو بدي أشيل كلمة kept in touch أقصها وأحط مطرحها كلمة تاني in English, what is it going to be? A couple of years ago, I was talking to an old school friend that I had kept in touch. Do you think that she was in contact with her? Was she talking to her old friend? And from the story, we understand that she was actually talking to her and visiting her old friend. So if we go back here, which one of these means to keep in touch, to still talk to people and contact them? What do you think? Look. Can you see? Enlarge it here. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Stayed in contact. So kept in touch. Number 1 is here. D. Stayed in contact. Okay, let's take another example. Mentioned. Let's go back to the same, I think it's in the same story. Yeah, it's here. I highlighted it for you earlier. So I had kept in touch with when she mentioned another person called Jan. What other English word can I put here? When she mentioned, when she said, when she talked about another person, when she remembered another person. Yeah, okay, let's go back and try to find a similar meaning here. Which one of these meanings mean to talk about or to say something about a person or to describe a person or something? Yes, said something about a person. So she said something about Jan. So number 2 is C is 2, or number 2 is C. Now, I would like you to pause the video and do this activity, and then come back to check your answers. Okay, pause now please. يعني وقفوا الفيديو لحتى تقدروا تعملوا التمرين لحالكم حبيباتي، وبعدين بس تخلصوا ارجعوا واصلوا الفيديو عشان نشوف الإجابات. All right, so now let's have a look at the answers. Where is it? Oh. Okay, so let's have a look at, sorry. Let's look at the having some technical issues here. Sorry. Right, guys. So let's go back to this. So the answers are number A is 7. So without hair means bald, or bald means without hair. And let's start from number, so we did 1 and 2. Okay, let's go to number 3. 3, patting. Patting is F. Patting is F, hitting gently. Okay. Number 4, error, is G, mistake. Number 5, straight, straight. 5, straight, straight. Okay. It means B, immediately. You go straight home, means you go immediately home. And then number 6, colleague. Colleague is H. Is H, someone you work with. Colleague at work, for example. Okay, someone you work with. And number 7, bold. Again, bold is without hair, is A. And the last one, a stranger, is E. Someone you don't know. Someone you don't know is a stranger. So these are the answers. Right. Now, we are going, use the words and phrases in activity 3 to complete the sentences below. We are going to use these words here, as you can see, to complete the sentences here. All right. Let's read the first one and think about which word fits here. So I'm just going to show you the words and let's read the first one. While he was away, he blank, okay, with his family by email. While he was away, far away, he with his family by email. What do you do with your family? Why would you send an email to your family? Family means they're close to you. So why do you email them? Of course, if they are far away, if they live in a different city or a different country. So which one of these you can put here? While he was away, he contacted his family by email. Which one of these means contacted? Yes, kept in touch. He kept in touch with his family by email. Okay, let's do the second one as well. Instead of stopping for a coffee, I went blank home. So he did not stop for coffee. He just kept driving or walking home. So which one of these words here means that he just kept walking home? Yes, straight. Instead of stopping for a coffee, I went straight home. So he didn't stop to buy some coffee. He just kept walking immediately. So straight means immediately. Okay, so he went immediately home. Now pause the video, please, and do the rest of the sentences. You've got 6 more sentences left. Pause and do them. And I'll come back to you. Okay, uh, so have a look, guys. Can you see the screen? There are the answers here. So number three, I remember she mentioned the name of a book yesterday, but I can't remember the title. 4, he looks older than he is because he is almost completely bald. When people are bald, they lost their hair. They look older than their age, right? 5, I have no idea who he was. He was just a stranger because he didn't know the person. So he was a stranger. While I was patting my friend's cat, it bit me. So patting, we said, means hitting gently, lightly. So touching the cat, patting, يعني يربت على القطة, it bit me. I see him number 7, I see him every day, but he is not a friend of mine. He is just a colleague. And then the last one, it's hard to speak another language without making a single error. Okay. Let's move now to the next activity. Okay, so let's go now back to the book. As you can see here, so we did this one. Phrasal verbs. Okay, the next exercise is phrasal verbs. Read out the sentences using the phrasal verbs in the box. Okay, so what are phrasal verbs? Let me just, maybe I need to zoom out a little bit. Okay, what is phrasal verbs? Phrasal verbs are verbs plus adverbs or prepositions. يعني, let me give you an example. The verb look means to see, right? Now, if you add a preposition or an adverb to the word look, to the verb look, it changes the meaning. So if I say, look after, look is a verb and after is an adverb. يعني حال, adverb. Look after. Look after means what? It means take care of. يعني you look after a baby, or you look after a cat, your pet, or an animal. يعني أو you look after your grandma or grandpa. يعني look after means to take care of them, to care for them. And if you say look for, look is a verb, for is an adverb. Look for, and also for is a preposition. Okay, look for means to search for. So I was looking for my keys. I was searching for my keys. I lost my keys and I'm looking for them. I'm searching for them. All right, so this is the meaning of phrasal verbs. Now, the phrasal verbs that we have are here. Catch up, put up, and turn out. These are 3 different phrasal verbs. Okay, what's the meaning of these verbs? أول واحدة catch up means, this one here. To catch up means to contact someone, to reach someone. Okay, to keep in touch with someone. Put up means to accommodate someone. يعني put up someone in your house means you allow them to stay in your house. You offer them to stay in your house, to sleep in your house. Put someone up. Okay. Turn out. Turn out means to happen. Happen. Okay. Now, what I would like you to do, I would like you to read, I'm going to read out these sentences for you, and I would like you to think about which phrasal verb fits here. So, number 1, I did not realize who she was at first. Did not realize, يعني I didn't know. I could not recognize her. I didn't know her face. Okay. I did not realize who she was at first, but we discovered that we had been at school together. Okay. يعني بالأول ما كان عارفها أو ما كانت عارفتها، بعدين اتذكرت إنه هي شافتها بالمدرسة زمان. So which one here, which phrasal verb can fit here? I didn't realize who she was at first, but it, think about it. Is it catch up, put up, or turn out? Yeah, turn out. I did not realize who she was at first, but طبعا it's the sentence is in the simple past, so I have to change this into simple past. So I did not realize who she was at first, but it turned out. Let me just put it here. Turned, oops, sorry. Oh, turned out. It turned out that we had been at school together. Okay. Now, let's look at the second one. He was visiting. He was visiting the town for a few days, so I let him stay in my flat, which means he offered him to sleep in his flat. So which one here means to offer someone to sleep? He was visiting the town for a few days, so I, bravo, put up. So I put him up. Put him up. Put, it's simple past. Put doesn't change. So present or past or past participle. Put. Okay. 3. We hadn't seen each other for years, so having a meal together was a good chance to talk about news and events. We hadn't seen each other for years, so having a meal together was a good chance to with each other. The one that's left is catch up. So to catch up with each other. All right? To contact each other, to see each other, go out with each other. Very good. Okay. Okay, we're gonna stop here, guys. So we covered 2 pages, 19 and 20. And inshallah, next time we'll cover the next lesson. Where is that? So thank you for attending the session, guys, and see you next time. If you have any question, keep your questions. I have 3 sessions a week at 9 o'clock in the morning, Gaza time. And you can ask me any questions you like, or you can we can have another session, a special session to answer your questions. Okay, goodbye and take care.